powered by Riverside FM.
Welcome to another episode of Unconventional Playbook. Hit that like and subscribe button. Continue to help our station grow. We really, really appreciate all of the love. People have been hitting me up, wanting me to talk about my thoughts on the whole Justin Jefferson thing because I mentioned it a little bit in previous podcasts. So a lot of people want to know where I stand on the Justin Jefferson thing in terms of him not getting the ball and that stuff. So I said, you know what, whatever you guys want me to talk about, put it in the comments. I'm going to talk about. Not afraid of the tough subjects, not afraid to express my opinion. So here's my thoughts on Justin Jefferson. I think Justin Jefferson, number one, is a classy individual. And I think he is the biggest decoy in the league. I think whenever we play teams, there's so much attention focused on J.J. McCarthy in terms of defensive coordinators around the league. They've been bracketing him. They've been rolling safeties over the top. He's got three people on him at all times, and that allows other people on our offense to eat. You saw it with Jordan Addison. You saw it with T.J. Hockenson. I mean, you see it every week. Even with our second tight end, Oliver, you see all the attention in the secondary that is paid to Justin Jefferson. And so it allows other things to happen in our offense. And so I've heard a lot of critics talk about, well, if this is what's happening to Justin Jefferson, we shouldn't be trying to force the ball into him. Sam Darnold shouldn't be trying to force the ball into him. There are other weapons on the team. JJ's going to be fine. He's going to get his. And again, from a strategical standpoint, I definitely understand that concept. And I think for the most part, people that think that way are right. Like, you don't want to be forcing balls in to Justin Jefferson when we have other players on our offense that can sit at the table and eat too. We have a lot of different weapons on this offense. We've touted that before we signed Sam Darnold. We said that this was probably going to be the most plentiful offensive team that he has ever been around. And I think that has come to be true. So again, there are a lot of weapons. We are not a one-man team in terms of Justin Jefferson. We have a definite luxury in that respect. And so when I hear analysts talk about, Justin Jefferson is going to be okay, you can't force the ball into him, you got to get it elsewhere. For the most part, I agree with that. But here's the part that I think people are missing. I don't think you can force the ball in to Justin Jefferson in some of these games. But here's what I know. Justin Jefferson is one of the best teammates you could possibly have. And the Minnesota Vikings are winning. When Jordan Addison and those guys are catching touchdowns, T.J. Hockenson are catching touchdowns, Naylor catching touchdowns, who's the first guy in the celebrations to come up to those guys and pat them on the helmet, dance with them, congratulate them? It's Justin Jefferson. Go back and rewind the film. He is happy for his teammates, and I think that is sincere. So he's never going to be the guy that says, give me the ball more. He's not going to do that. That's just not Justin Jefferson. So I think people that are falling on that side of the fence saying, he's not going to be a problem, I can see why you feel that way. But here's the deal. And again, I've said this plenty of times, and I don't want to pull the coach's card, but I coach college basketball, which means I coach the modern player of today. And the modern player of today has wants and needs that players back in the day really didn't have. And a lot of it stems from notoriety, social media, legacy. Justin Jefferson has said plenty of times, Minnesota Viking fans, UP Nation fans, you've heard it. Hey, I want to catch 2,000 yards in the season. That's a want for Justin Jefferson. I'm not saying that it supersedes the team winning, but he's telling you that's a goal. A few weeks ago, he said, well, I'm tired of these 80, 90-yard games. I want to be able to do more. If he doesn't do more, it doesn't mean that that want and need supersedes winning of the team, but he's telling you he wants to do more than catch 80 and 90 yards a game. He's come out and told you that he wants to be the best wide receiver ever. And again, his wants and needs, he doesn't want that to supersede winning for the team, but he's telling you what he wants to do. And I'm saying to you that if teams are able to keep him under wraps and play him that way, and other players are allowed to eat, eventually that is going to be a problem for Justin Jefferson internally. In the short term, it's not a problem, but you got to find a way to engage Justin Jefferson in some way in the offense. 2 catches for 27 yards in last week's game is tolerable to Justin Jefferson, only to a certain extent. I can guarantee you that. Justin Jefferson wants to be the best ever. And I've said on multiple podcasts, he's no different than anybody else. It just may be packaged a little bit differently. He's not the guy that's going to be ranting and raving on the sidelines. He's not the guy that's going to be a cancer in the locker room if he's not getting the ball. But that doesn't mean he doesn't want those things and he doesn't feel a certain way inside. And see, I just want this thing with Justin Jefferson to go until its duration. I don't want to see any trades a couple of years from now. I don't want to see any frustrations a couple of years from now. I want him to retire a Minnesota Viking. I want him to stay in purple, especially because we have J.J. McCarthy coming up as our franchise quarterback. I remember at one point in time, Stephon Diggs was saying all the right things, all the classy things, when Adam Thielen was starting to get more catches and more touchdowns than him. And I'm not even comparing the two, Stephon Diggs and Justin Jefferson, because they're 2 different personalities, but their wants and their needs are the same. Stephon Diggs wants to be one of the best ever, so he stayed quiet for a long time. And then it boiled over. Being involved in the offensive structure of things and the offensive concepts of the things doesn't necessarily mean you got to catch 1,000 balls down the field. There are things that you can do to integrate Justin Jefferson in the offense outside of getting 2 touches a game. You've got to be able to scheme him to be able to get the ball in his hands so he feels like it's a part of it. He's a human being. He's a human being, and as nice of a guy as he is, as loyal of a guy as he is, as much as he is a great teammate, with any great player, there's a little bit of ego. There's a little bit of ego. And so I know he will never come out and say it. The Minnesota Vikings will never come out and say it. And people that want to put Justin Jefferson in this box in terms of, oh, he'll be okay, he'll get his, he'll be, he's going to be happy. Please know that there's this little thing internally inside of him that wants to do more. And eventually, if we allow teams to stop him from getting his hands on the ball, that little feeling that he has internally is going to start to grow. There's not a good player in any sport that is excluded from that. Justin Jefferson is no different. So I don't think it's a problem with the Minnesota Vikings in terms of their success. They're winning football games. Teams are really scheming to shut down Justin Jefferson. It's allowing other players to eat. That's all well and good. That's fine. But don't get it twisted. Please know that just because he's not complaining, that doesn't mean that the feeling isn't there. So I would think it would be in the Vikings' best interest to pay attention to that. Communication is key. Tweaking is key. Getting him involved in different ways in the offense shouldn't be outside the box. Again, it doesn't have to be all downfield. There are ways you can scheme him open. And so I think the Minnesota Vikings need to know that that's a paramount thing. Because where there are embers, a fire has the potential to grow, and we don't want the fire. That's all I'm saying with Justin Jefferson. I just want him to be around here for a long time. This kid has the potential to be one of the greatest Vikings wide receivers ever if he doesn't already have that title. Chris Carter's come out and said, this is Chris Carter, the man with one of the biggest egos ever, and played with Randy Moss, that Justin Jefferson will be the best wide receiver that ever dressed in purple. But we got to find ways to get him the ball. I want him here. Halfway through this thing, I don't want him to be demanding trades and all this stuff and go to other teams. I know how this stuff works. And because what you see on the sidelines and in front of the camera, you buy that as gospel. I think you're getting a pretty good insight on who the young man is, but I know how competitive he is as well. I know what his individual goals are as well. And last week, 2 for 27, even though we won and other people were successful, and I know Justin was happy, I just know that's not going to work for him long term. So we got to find a way to scheme him open. UP Nation, put your thoughts in the comments. Is this whole Justin Jefferson thing a problem? Do we go this way for the rest of the season if teams are triple teaming him, allowing Hockenson and Jordan Addison to eat? What are your thoughts? Do you think it's a serious issue? Do you think it's not? Hey, I'm open to all type of debates. I want to hear your thoughts. Again, this is Unconventional Playbook. All are welcome on Unconventional Playbook. Please hit that like and subscribe button. Thanks for you and all of your support. Watching all the videos that we post. You guys are fantastic. We love you guys here on Unconventional Playbook. Again, please hit that like and subscribe button. We will see ya when we see ya. Latrey, take us home.
I don't know who I am. Can I say I'm a man? Am I losing my mind? Am I wasting my time? Do I know who I am?